Hello friends, welcome to Mango County Overseas. If you have a dream of pursuing foreign education, then you are watching the right video. In this video, we will discuss some basic things about the planning for studies abroad. We will talk about how and when to start, what the pitfalls are in this journey, how you should be mentally prepared and many more things. So let us begin. First of all, you have to decide at an early age if you really want to go for foreign education. Because admission to a foreign university is a long and time consuming process. There are many stages involved. Many documents have to be arranged. Additionally, some stages like declaration of your school or college results or student visa approval time are not in your hands. So you have to be mentally ready for unforeseen events. Things can get delayed for various reasons and you will just be a mere spectator. Recent corona pandemic is a great example of that. No one could do anything, it was just beyond anyone's control. Also, you have to decide early if you want to go for undergraduate or postgraduate degree. You will be in a different frame of mind while considering an undergraduate degree than a postgraduate degree. Let us begin with undergraduation. For an undergraduate degree, you have to start very early in your life. Say when you are in your 10th or 11th class, you should already be sure about your education plans. Why is that so? So that you focus on the tests that are required in order to secure the admission overseas. In India, we have many tests that a student appears for while in 12th class when it comes to undergraduate studies. If you are in double minds, then the chances are that you might not do well in the tests. Because there are many tests that a student has to appear for, it is difficult to concentrate on any one particular test. Usually, the period between 10 to 12 class is very hectic and stressful in a student's life in India. Indian education system is such that if you don't do well in these years, then you hardly get a chance to bounce back. Your career path and many other things about your life heavily depend on how you manage to handle the pressure in these 2-3 years. On top of that, if you are adding the pressure of foreign admission, then it will be a Herculean task. Hence, you should be pretty clear about your future education plan. Don't waste your time on unnecessary test preparations. Be focused and try not to overdo. You may have to isolate yourself from some of your friends who don't have plans to go abroad. Try to look for other students with similar mindset. If possible, form groups with them and work together. It is actually unfair to expect young school going students of that age to not mingle with other students of similar age group. But that is the hard choice you will have to make if you desire to achieve something in life. You may go through some difficult times or may feel that you are alone in this journey, but be assured once you cross the hurdle, then things will be much better for the long term. Also, you should be sure about the country to which you plan to go for studies. Depending on the country, you might have to take additional tests. A lot of students from India and many other countries go to the US for undergraduate studies. There, SAT is required. More and more countries are now accepting SAT test score for undergraduate admission. Other than the US, countries like the UK, Singapore, Canada, and Australia also attract foreign students for undergraduate degrees. Overall, it will take you around 14 to 18 months of planning and patience if things go smoothly. Most undergraduate degrees abroad last for about 4 years. That is a long period for someone as young as 18-19 years of age. You may not be able to visit your family back in India during that period. For some, it might take a toll on their health or even affect their studies, so be prepared accordingly. And say for some reason you cannot get through the process right after your 12th class, then what are you going to do? Are you going to wait for the next academic year? Or are you going to start a graduation in India itself? Some students go for a temporary course while they wait for their admission to a foreign university get over. Others change their mind altogether since they always had a plan B to continue education in India if things don't go as planned. These are very personal choices. You have to take decisions according to your own capacity and ambitions. You can take help of counselors if you wish. Plus, the cost of undergraduate degree is generally higher than the cost of postgraduate degree. Your funding sources should generally be sorted out well in advance, meaning you should be fairly sure about how you are going to fund your education without much hiccups. Some countries are expensive compared to others. Choose your country wisely. In general, for an undergraduate admission, there are so many things one has to take care of. Your current school studies, your current exam results, international test preparations, results of those tests, documentation for admission, student visa process. Many of these steps will run simultaneously. So you will definitely need some help. Not just the help from your family members, but also from external professionals. A postgraduate degree seeker is slightly lucky in this, which we will see a little later in this video. Now let us come to post graduation. If you are planning for a postgraduate degree, then you have some breathing room. It is not as hectic as it is for an undergraduate admission. Indeed, many students in India and across the world prefer doing postgraduate degrees abroad. These include master's degree, PhDs, and postdocs, or a combination of these. Here again, there are two subcategories, so to speak. Those who are planning to take admission to a foreign university right after they finish their current degree, and those who have not yet decided about their future plans. Let us look at them one by one. If you are currently studying for a degree in India, then somewhere near the beginning of your final year, you should start preparing documents. Try to be organized. Don't procrastinate things indefinitely. Usually in India, the final exam of the final year happens somewhere between March to early June. That is the exam season. And results for these exams are out by August of the same year in almost all cases. In fact, much earlier than that in some cases. So you know the timeline. Whatever degree you are planning to pursue, all your international test results such as GRE, TOEFL, GMAT, IELTS, or any other test result that is a requirement of the admission process should be ready and handy with you. If possible, by April of the final year of your ongoing degree, you should be done with your tests as well as scores. These test scores come with multi-year validity and they have nothing to do with at what stage you are in your current studies. So make sure you have taken these tests well in advance. Remember, in India the demand for all such tests is very high. The waiting time for taking a test can run into months in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bengaluru, Chennai, and Kolkata. So plan accordingly. Still, suppose after all the planning you are not able to secure admission right after finishing your current degree. Then what happens? Then you become our next subcategory of students who take some time after their graduation to decide on their future plans. Such people try to gain some work experience after their studies. That actually is a beneficial thing for degrees like MBA. When you work in the industry, you get to meet various professionals from varied backgrounds. You begin to understand the difference between academic world and practical world. This helps you grow as a person. Additionally, you start earning and saving, which definitely helps you in managing your foreign education costs. What happens is that here you have already decided that you will take your own sweet time. So nothing to worry. You can appear for tests at your own will. If there are more than one test, then you may choose to take them one by one at your own convenience. You can slowly but definitely arrange for documents. Just keep in mind the academic years. Unlike in India, in many other countries there are two academic years. One that begins in March April and the other one which begins in September October. Most students target the September intake. Whether you commence your course right after finishing your graduation or you take a few years gap, there are certain things you need to make note of. When you choose a country or a university, make sure you really want to go to those places. Never make selection based on friends or colleagues' advice. Just because a friend has gone to a particular country or university doesn't mean that you should follow him or her. Also be prepared for a different education system. The higher education system in developed countries is drastically different from Indian system. What you understood from the classes or courses you took matters more than what marks you scored. This also applies to job interviews that you will face after finishing your degree. So go with an open mind and try to gather as much knowledge as possible about your field. You are going there for education and not vacation. About the duration for post graduation, it depends on what degree you intend to pursue. A master's degree will last for 14 to 24 months. A PhD will be at least 3.5 years, that is given. And those who know what a postdoc is might also be aware that there is no time duration for it. It is a research program with no definite duration. For both PhD and postdocs, there is a high probability that you will have some sort of financial help available from the university so that tuition fees and living expenses are taken care of. That gives some relief. But going for such lengthy postgraduate degrees will be a major decision of your life. What we have noticed is that some students take admission to PhDs with motives like immigration. Remember, education and immigration are two different things. Completing a PhD takes a lot of efforts. It is not everyone's cup of tea. One more thing to keep in mind. Whatever we discussed so far applies to fields such as commerce, engineering, arts, management studies, and similar regular fields. But if you are from fields which require professional licensing, then you will have to be extra careful. Some examples of such professionals are chartered accountants, lawyers, and doctors. So that's it for this discussion, friends. Hope you have got some idea about when to start while considering the education abroad. about various factors to consider, about what may go wrong, about approximate time frame for the actual study programs, and finally about the mindset one should be in. Friends, ours is a very big country with students from varied backgrounds. It is quite difficult to generalize everyone's situation into one discussion. So if you are interested in knowing more or have questions about your particular situation, then let us know in the comment section below. Finally, please subscribe and share this video and channel with someone trying for education abroad. It will definitely help them in their journey. Bye and thanks for watching.